I think I've figured that one out. And let's make sure that, oh, there we go. I think I am up and running. Yes. There I am. I can see me. Can you guys see me? There we go. And make sure you guys to give me some feedback and some hellos so I know that it's going out there. But I can see that we are on. There we go. I can see all of you all. Let me just make sure that I can see myself on the Facebook feed, and we will get started. I think with all of this new streaming, that everybody is doing now, they have kind of switched up and I think maybe fortified some of their streaming. So there's a couple of things we used to be able to just automatically from our switcher that I use, automatically just go ahead and start the stream. But it looks like I have to initiate them into other places. But I'm getting the hang of it. I gotcha. So, good morning, afternoon, or evening again, everyone. It is great to have you all here. I am Kate Richburg. Welcome to the Tuesday social distancing isolation broadcast of March 31st. We made it through March. March is about done. A few edicts came down that are saying that our isolation is going to have to extend a little longer. But the good part of that is I get to do this with you more, which is the highlight of my day. It's really, really true. So honestly, for that. So good morning, afternoon, and evening again to everyone. I can see Janice is over on our YouTube feed, and I can see Geeta over on our Facebook feed, and chatting away, and also doing some moderating and some linking. So we really, really appreciate that. I also wanted to mention, before I got any further, some of you have been sending it quite surprisingly to us some cards into Bead Shop Central, which we really, really appreciate. Chris got the mail yesterday, and Michelle, I got your very, very kind note, and it really brought a lot of joy to Chris and I. So I'm making a little wall of all the little cards and stuff that we get. So he and I both really appreciate it. I just saw him walk by. Maybe he'll holler out. But we're both here, we're healthy, we're feeling good. I'm having my morning coffee. We had a very restful weekend. There he is.
Hello, morning.
Good morning, there he is. Now get back to work.
Yes.
So he's doing well. So we're both doing well. All the rest of the crew doing fine as well, sheltering in place, working from home. So we're keeping the home fires burning here at Bead Shop. I also wanted to mention there were a lot of really very, what do I want to say, touching and heartfelt messages over the weekend on the Bead Table, which is our Bead Shop group over on Facebook, which is growing by leaps and bounds, and we're so happy to have you here. And so if you're not a member of the Bead Table, go over, search Bead Table, Bead Shop group, it'll come up. You have to just answer 3 little questions. And it will, Emily is the one who takes care of making sure that everyone gets in, who answers the questions and stuff, and so we'd really, really be glad to have you over there. There are some really heartfelt stories, some stories of people beading and creating and putting up what they're making. A couple of people who have gone through this COVID plague. I don't want to call it a plague, but this that we're going through right now. Some stories of resilience where people are feeling a lot better. So those of you who have reached out and shared that with me, I am so glad that people are on the road to recovery. And it's definitely a bright spot in my day. So thank you for sharing those things. We're going to mostly try to keep the bead table bead focused, but sharing those joys is a great thing as well. So I'm glad that so many people are in good health and in good mental health. Chris and I actually did come in on Saturday morning and cleaned like crazy and stocked and got everything ready for the week. So that felt really, really good to do. So we're prepared and set and ready to fill orders this week. On Sunday, when I should have been resting, I don't know about you guys, but I had to clean out my closet. And I will tell you what, my closet is just, I have a few accessories. One of which I'm wearing today, which is a Liberty of London scarf celebrating Her Majesty the Queen's Diamond Jubilee back in 2012. But I love an accessory. So I folded everything and I don't know, cleaned it all up. So my closet is now again like a little oasis. So that's why I'm like, I'm wearing some color today. I'm not just picking up the same old thing off the floor and putting it back on. So anyway, so that's going on there. I know it's rough, but our social distancing, you guys, there's some good news coming out of this. Social distancing, staying at home, making connections like this virtually via whatever medium you use, FaceTime or Zoom, or all of those are so many ways that you can interact with your friends. Friday night, I had a virtual cocktail party with my girlfriends, and let me tell you, after 2 glasses of wine with 6 of my best friends, life looked great. So, and it still looks great. So don't worry. So we still got this. You know what? So I'm having my cafe. I hope you guys are having your morning drink or afternoon drink, wherever you are. And I wanted to share with you, I am wearing, these are a good project, a good, what do I want to say, sheltering in place project, the earrings that I'm making. This is an Emily project, and I'm going to change the camera so you guys can see this. Maybe I'll put it over here on this camera so you guys can see what this guy looks like. But I don't know if you guys remember, it was the first, this might have been from the first bead retreat that we did, and then Emily and I did them on a YouTube broadcast, Bead Shop Live broadcast. And this is a netted bead. I'll get it really close up there, the netted bead, not too close because that's out of focus, over a wood bead. And the wood bead I dyed with alcohol ink. And then I just put it with, I think these are like the light Colorado topaz 8mm rondelles. And this chain, which I should have looked beforehand. Janice, I know it's not fancy pants. It's one that's kind of like fancy pants, but we carry it. Someone will find it. And then we just hung it. I just hung it off of an ear wire there. So I think they're fun. They're kind of big, but they're light. So it's perfect time to do a netted bead. And again, if you don't have alcohol inks, you can color these wooden beads with like Sharpie marker. I bet you could do it even with food coloring or something, that you had at home. You just get a nice, this base, it's hard to see, but it's kind of a pinkish base. And then I just netted right over the top. We carry these wood beads that you can do the bases over, and they're really super fun. So you can see I'll put it back in my ear here like this, and I think they're cool. And this chain, I know Janice, you'll find it. I know you'll link it in there, but you don't have to add it to a chain. But it's kind of fun. It's kind of swingy. It's kind of 60s. It's kind of My Fair Lady. That's it. Thank you, Gita. It's the My Fair Lady chain, and I used it in antique silver for that. Let me put it. It might also be a little bit easier to see if I put it on this camera here. There we go, a little bit clearer. But it was really fun. And so if you search out Emily's netted bead project, it's a really good one. Her instructions are excellent. I think I think there's written instructions for it, not just video instructions. So they're really, really great. And, I have seen these made. I had a project, I should pull it back out. I've done, I don't know, maybe about 8 or 10 of these because I want to make a whole necklace out of these beaded beads. So it would be a good one to get back in. And Marion is asking how heavy are those wooden beads. They're not heavy at all, really. They're super light, actually. And they're American made. I don't know what kind of wood they are, but I think it says on the bead shop listing. But they're great. They're super fun to make. And even if you just make one, you can turn it into a really killer pendant. So anyway, so that's that. That's what's going on there. So I wanted to show you guys those. So let's get down to business here though. Okay. When we last visited our project here, I was adding the fringe onto the center of this pendant. And you can watch the Creative Connections with Kate are on a playlist on our YouTube channel. And it would be a great way. You can just go right over to YouTube, look for the Creative Connections with Kate's playlist. And what I did was I put a date in front of each one so you can see them in order. I've tried to list them in order, but you can go by date if you want to kind of watch them in order, watch kind of the saga. Okay. New England Hardwood, thank you, Janice, is what they are. So they're so great. So even if you just get like the food coloring or Rit dye or whatever and dye the wood beads, they look amazing. So they're kind of fun to play with. But I wanted to show you, here is the pendant that I've been working on. So just as a quick reminder, this was the spiral that I made out of some 16 gauge wire, and then I glued this I Ching coin to the back, and then I started wrapping and I added these little tails. And now I'm making the tassel portion. Now, if you'll remember, I think we talked about this one, and I'll flash onto this project just real quick. This is kind of an ode to this piece I made so many years ago with this lampworked Venus bead here at the center. It also has kind of that wire spiral. And then I did some lampwork beads and stuff and strung them on a single strand here and then a multiple strand here. So that's kind of my I don't know, my inspiration for what's shaken up over here. Okay, so what I did was I strung these guys up. So you can see I've started, I had this one made when we last met, and this morning I sat down and I did a little bit of work and added these two legs over here. So if you can see, let me get a little tighter. Here, there we go. Let me move that over so you guys can see that. Sorry about my arm. There we go. Now you can see that tassel kind of close up a little bit. But what I'm gonna do here is the way I finished this off, and it's the way I finish off a lot of tassels. This is strung on Irish wax linen. Okay, and so it's a double strand, came through double strand, strung. Through these circles of bronze, one strand has these nickel, the cut delicas going one way and the other way. And it's about 11 beads, I think, that are strung on both strands and then figurated through. Came back through this faceted rondelle, aventurine rondelle. Then at the very end, remember how I kept saying, oh, I can't find that darn Duracoat opaque, that opaque dyed, I think it's the eucalyptus. Why can't I remember the color? I have it in my brain and then it goes, but it's the 11-4481. So I found these, but we also have them in an A-dot as well, right? And so an A-dot is a great way to finish off a tassel, especially if you're using something that's kind of thick. So I put one of those guys here, an A-dot at the bottom there, and at the bottom there, okay? And Ginger's asking this, it's a great question. Ginger's asking, Kate, do I have a plan for this, or am I just feeling my way through? I have a vague plan in that I think it's going to end up looking something like this piece over here, right? But as I'm working, you know, I figured, well, I'm going to finish these tassels, and I want to kind of finish embellishing this portion today a little bit. Then when we visit this next, I'm going to think about how I'm going to string the rest of this. So you saw me earlier last week make some of these wire wrapped kind of beads, and then I can leave some plain. So I may do that on the single side and do some multiple strand business on this side. But that's my vague plan. It'll change probably a little bit, but I'm not stressing too much because the color palette that I've pulled, and you can see I've got all my little dishes with all my stuff going on, and I pulled some of those A-dots that are there, and then I still have these guys, right, and then this slice of life. I have this medium round and round clasp, and I still have some of these little cubes left over from that other project. That cube is the 1.8 millimeter cube. It's the SB18 metallic dark bronze here. So as long as I have a I don't know, I guess a mixture to pull from, then I'm not going to worry about it. I know that I'm going to soldier through. Kind of like what we're doing now. I'm not going to worry about it. I know we're going to soldier through, right? Kind of the philosophy of life and of designing right now. But let me show you how I close off this kind of random tassel. Even looking at this, just having these padres, pardon me, sitting here, these padres, look at how cool that as a multiple strand would look coming from that. And then maybe having these guys coming up and maybe that fancy one there, and then, you know, something like that. So I don't know. We'll see what shakes out. Okay. So this here, let me show you how I'm gonna finish these tassels. So I could add 5, I could add 2 more, but I think I'm just gonna leave it at 3 right now. I don't know. I could always come back in and add 2 more, but I thought 3 kind of looked pleasing. And so, like I said, I finished these off by putting that little A-dot there. Now, I have this last circle of bronze that's here, and I thought putting one more might kind of complete this little diamond shape. And I still have, burning a hole in my pocket, this London Blue Topaz Briolette. And I like, pardon me, let me grab a little more coffee here. I like the way this super shiny Briolette, shiny, with that kind of rough circle of bronze. So the way I'm going to connect it is, just kind of go with me with this, because I'm just, I don't know, just thinking. I'm going to wire wrap this Briolette real quick. This is 26 gauge, right? And it matches, it's that vintage bronze. I'm going to bring it up. And you've seen me do this wire wrap Briolette before. Pardon me, sorry. I need more coffee here. I'm not sick. My throat's just dry. I'm fine. Don't worry. Isn't that what people say? It's like, oh my God, if you sneeze or if you cough, you have to tell people, oh my God, no, I'm fine. I'm fine. And I actually do. I take my temperature every morning. I make sure I'm good, and we're all good. So don't worry. Let me make this a little bit wider too here. So I've come in. I'm going to just treat now these 2 wires as if they were 1 wire. I'm going to just bend here up and over the top to form the loop. Like so. I'm going to incorporate a little bit of that tornado earring business we did earlier. And you know what? I might, let me see. No, I want to connect this directly. So I'm going to connect this right here onto that circle of bronze. So see how I made the loop kind of big? Can you see that? So it'll go around. Then I'll bring this around like this. And I'm just going to take both of these wires and wrap them around in a little bit of a free form manner. See that? I just did it with my fingers. And that's it. Now I do have one longer one. Let me unwind this a little bit. Maybe, I don't know. This might not be the right thing, but it might be the perfect thing. So it's hard to say. There's my friend Christine coming on the Facebook. Chris, I was just telling people about our virtual cocktail party on Friday. It was good times. But I hope you're hanging in there, lady. It's good to see you. And I can't wait until Friday. Again, I'm telling you, you guys, if you have friends that are scattered, all of my college, girlfriends, high school and college girlfriends, a lot of us are scattered all over the country. And it just, it did my soul so good, because those are the people that just know you, and you can just talk and then talk over each other and commiserate and, I don't know, laugh and all of those things. So reach out to your people, you guys, and try and connect any way that you can. It will, I slept so good on Friday night. I hadn't slept that good in a long time. So try and reach out, and gather your friends around you, even if it's just a group phone call. I'm trying to remember. I think it's the London Blue. Maybe it's the Indicolite. I don't know. The blue. I think it's London Blue, but I could be wrong. I think the Indicolite is bluer than the London Blue. So I think that's what this is. But I would have to check. I pulled it so long ago. Now I can't remember. I'm going to put a few more of these on, and then I'll show you. This is kind of a la tornado earring that I did on our very first creative connections. And so see here how I'm just going to bring these around now and just tuck them in. I might be gilding the lily with these beads, but I kind of want to bring everything together so it has some kind of visual unification. So I think making this little, I'll show you, let me just tuck this in and then I'll show you. So see what I did there? So see how, oops, no, you can't see. There we go. So see how it has the brio. Then I just wire wrapped, right? Then I, came back, wire wrap. And then that last little piece, I just added some more of those cut delicas. Now, that's going to be my dangly guy for this one. So let's close it off. Let me get a little tighter here so all you all can see this. Now this one here, I just put this 8/0 on, so I'm just going to tie an overhand knot. That might be a little close. There we go. The overhand knot, simply take both of those strands, wrap them around your finger, pull them in. If you need to kind of have your knotting tweezer to help you close that up, you can put your knotting tweezer in that knot, and it'll help you walk everything down. The wax linen is a little sticky, so you have to kind of coax it down to where you want it to be. And then then you just tighten, okay, like that, right? And I'm gonna just kind of push that knot up, and I'm gonna leave it there for just the moment. I'm gonna do the same thing on the second side. Yeah, I like, Ellen was saying she kind of grunges up the briolette a little bit so it's a little more cohesive with the piece. I agree with that. I like to throw in like a little surprise with what I do, and I think putting like this kind of fancy pants gemstone briolette in kind of, you know, this otherwise tribal looking piece makes a nice surprise. Okay, so now I've got this one. You know, now how the heck am I going to connect this one? Well, I'm going to show you. See this, remember your friend and mine, my favorite bead in the whole wide world, the shadow bead, and see that huge hole that's there? What's going to happen is I'm going to string this double strand through. Double strand, I said. There we go. I'm going to string it around. And now I'm going to string back up through that double strand, or that large hole shadow. And that shadow, the hole is so big that it sits just fine. And I want to see some of that wax linen there, right? Because I'm going to see a little bit of it here, because I think when I trim it, and I'm going to do it now, I'm going to leave a slight tail. Now, I could glue these knots, but with wax linen, you don't really need to. I may come back and give it just a drop of glue, but maybe not. Probably not. Now, the way I'm going to tie this, you guys, this is a Kate Richburg staple right here. So this little connection will take you a long, long way. Make sure that's sitting correctly. It is. All right. So see, remember how I went through that large knot, and I have two of these slice of life that's here. Okay, so I came down, right, kind of mirrored it. There's the Padre, shadow, slice of life, Padre, all big holes, small beads woven through that circle of life, circle of bronze rather, back through, mirrored that, came back down, up through, back through the shadow, and this is where I'm going to end it. Okay, so here's this, and not too tight. You want it to be firm, but not too tight. Now watch what I do. I'm going to go with my left cord here, right over left, and tie that knot. That's a square knot, okay, or a half hitch beginning to that square knot. Okay, now I'm going to turn the whole thing over. Watch how I do that. Okay, and I'm going to tie two of those half hitches here, right over left and down. You already know how to do this knot, right? Because you have been doing this with your Bollywood. Now, before I tie the second knot in the opposite direction, I'm going to get my hypo cement. I had one sitting here that was easily opened. Here it is. I'm going to get my hypo and do a little drop of it right there, just a little drop, and then promptly drop the glue on the floor. Hang on, hang on a second, or else I'll have a giant puddle of glue on the carpet. That won't work. Hang on, let me get this lid back in here. Oh, the perils of a live show. Come on now. There we go. And now that's also given that glue time to sit for a moment, right? Then I'll come in and I'll go, here's right, and I'll go left over right and down. Okay? Ta-da. Now, I'll cut these kind of short, but I'll come in, I might give it one more little. There we go. One more little, just a little drop. And I'll use hypo rather than the zap because the hypo gives me a little more of a flexible knot rather than something that's super stiff. Okay, and I'll come in after 24 hours and I'll clip this a little bit closer, but for now I'm going to clip it just to get some of those strands out of the way. So this is what I've got so far. Okay. Now, the wire portion to me still looks a little naked, right? So I'm going to, I think, just do a little bit of wire embellishing. Let's see how far I get with that. I'm going to try 24 gauge because that's what I did over here, right? So I'm just going to, I don't know, cut like, I'm still using the board as my, I don't know, 14 inches-ish about. So that's what I'm going to cut. And I'm just going to start, I think I'm going to start where I ended up over here. Let me get a little bit tighter so you guys can see. And I'm just going to start to wrap. And I honestly, you guys, I've got no idea. I have no idea what I'm going to do. So let me do a couple of wraps just to get it in there. Maybe I made a piece of wire, it's a little too long. But there we go. Okay, so now those two. I feel like it needs something on there. Maybe I'll do 3 wraps. I could also wrap this. It might look kind of cool if I wrapped it with wax linen. But let me try wire first. And let me get some of these blue A-dots, that 4481. Let me get a good tight. Okay. So I'm just going to come in, put that, place it. There we go. I've got my rhythm. See how I kind of go in and around? I'm going to do 3 in between each. And on my 4th go round, I'll come in and I'll add another bead. Put it into place and keep wrapping. 1, 2, hope you guys can kind of see what I'm doing here, sorry. 3 around, and on my 4th come around, I'm going to put on a bead. Now let me see where these dangles are ending up, right? We don't want to, yeah, we want to make sure that it's still right. So now this one, see this blue one? How I'm going to come over here and I'm going to capture that first tassel leg and do 3 wraps in between. 1, 2, 3. And push them tight. Now I'll bring, let's see if 3 in between, that looks about right, right? I think so. So now we're going to put that next one on, comes to the front, and we're going to wrap 3 times again. Once, twice, 3 times, and now on the 4th time that I wrap, let me bring this bad boy in, put the bead on, and yeah, Ellen, I'll hold this up in 2 shakes. I'm kind of on a roll, so I can't put it down quite yet, but I will. I'll show you in just a second. 1, 2, 3, and then 4. It's time for another bead. So here, let me show you all. This wire I'm going to tuck in and cut. And I think it'll string from like here. So I think it'll hang okay. Let me get a little wider. Okay. That's not too bad. I don't know, it's a little, I don't know. Who knows? I feel like maybe I'm making some kind of like, I don't know, warrior pendant or protection talisman, or I don't know. It feels kind of, I don't know, talisman-like, right? Not too bad. So let me just finish real quick this wrapping. Okay. So again, I was on my 4th one, so I bring that guy here, and then I'll do that one, and let's wrap 3. The secret to this is really, see how I'm keeping my wire tight, nice and taut in my hand, right? And I'm trying to keep it as straight, and as I wrap it, I'm pulling with my right hand forward, pulling with my left hand back towards me, and it helps keep the tension in the wire. This is 24 gauge, so it's thin enough that it's malleable, that I can kind of do this but it's heavy enough that it'll kind of hang out, stick through there, right? 1, 2, 3, and on the 4th, bring the bead in. And I think kind of working, there's a lot going on here with this thing. 2, 3, and 4. So I think working in kind of a monochromatic palette is kind of saving this from looking like the dog's breakfast, right? At least for me, looking a little too crazy. So there's the bead, and wrap 3 times. That first wrap, see how when I pull it, I use the wire as kind of like my little jig, my little angle. So I pull it. There's 1, 2, and 3. I think the best thing about this necklace, when I remember it, I'll always remember that this is the necklace that I made with all of you guys, right? This is the piece that got us through the first part of Kate's connections. 1, 2, 3. So I'll have very fond memories of it when I wear it. And eventually when it's done, we'll have Karen photograph it, and it'll go up on the website. Though Drea has been updating it on the blog as well with what I've been using. So not only check our website, but check our blog also, also called The Bead Table. It's a great source of inspiration. So see here, there, I finished, and I'm not going to get rid of this wire yet because I don't know what I'm going to do with this yet, okay? So, but this one I do know that I'm so done with. I'm going to wrap it one more time, and I'm going to just clip it close, and then use my bent chain, let me grab it, to kind of, whoops, sorry, I lost the stream there for a second. Just kind of tuck her in amongst there, and feel it with your finger, right? Tuck until you don't feel that, little point. Okay, so these are those 3. So now I've got this business to deal with. Let me get a little tighter so you can really see what that wrapping looks like. Okay. I don't know, I'm kind of digging the way that wrapping looks. That's a little tight, a little bit of an extreme close-up there. I don't know, maybe I should just do the same thing there for continuity. Maybe. And maybe I want to connect it there for stability. So let me start there. So I'm going to cut another piece of 24 gauge. Okay. And I'm just going to start where I feel like I need to start, which is right there. Okay. So I'm going to put this in, go about halfway down. Come on. Come up here. And maybe nope, that's not what I'm going to do. Doesn't feel right. This is what I'm going to do. I have this wax linen down here. I have this wax linen here. I think I need a third wax linen place here. So there's 3. Let me get the wax linen. I'm going to pull it through here. And then I'll finish. I'll do this wrapping like here and here. But I feel like this needs a little, something a little more organic in feel. Okay, so just bear with me here. Again, this might be exactly the wrong thing, or it might be amazing. You never know what's going to happen. I'm going to use one of these little, if it'll go on there, will it? The wax linen, it makes such a nice self needle. Yeah, there it goes. I just had to tell it who was boss. Me. I was boss. These 11/0, maybe a couple of these. Let me give this a little bit of an angle cut because it's giving me just a touch of sass that I don't need right now. There we go. Angle cut it. Let's put on 3 of these and see that angle cut? Makes it go through just perfectly. 2 and 3. I feel like it needs a shadow bead because who doesn't need a shadow bead? Right? Here, 1 too many of those, I think. And on the back, we want the back to look as nice as the front, but I want it to be smooth. So I'm going to tie a whole bunch of, I'm just going to string, angle cut it. Get some of those 11s. And string these on, I don't know, 8 or so. We'll see how many I need. 1. Still a little too thick right there. Cut it again. There we go. Get all this business, all those tools out of my way. There. There we go. 1, 2, just enough to cover right here, because you don't want the front to look amazing and the back to look like a big old mess. That's why the hairdresser always shows you not only the front of the hair, your hair, but the back, right? Because people see you coming and going. So we want to make sure that this looks very pretty. That should be about enough. Let's see. Let me tighten it up. Bring it here. Tighten. Bring it around. Yes, perfect. And turn it upside down. I think I need like I need to taper it back down. So I'm going to make this symmetrical. I'm going to get another little cube. And what did I do? An 8/0 there. Now I need to bring them together. This might be wrong. This might be so wrong, but I don't know if it's wrong or not unless I check it. Slice of life. Let's see what it looks like. So see how that's going through right there? No slice of life. Not right. And yeah, Ginger, unfortunately I can't solder this guy. I can't solder it. It's not, you know, it just will, it's just not. I could cold connect it maybe somehow, but soldering not so much. Let me see this. And I like, so when I get to this point where I'm like, you know what, I like this, but I'm not sure where to go, right? I need to let this sit a minute. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave that there, just like that, and I'll just finish this wire wrapping. I'll finish this wire wrap thought because, again, I like it, but I can't envision it yet. So I'm actually just going to take it out. No harm, no foul. It's still strung up. I'm going to put it there. And then I'll just go from here. What did I do? I went 3, and I will go 3 wraps. These are a little bit harder to wrap because it's kind of in that enclosed space. So I'll just do those 3, and I'll show you how I do it. I won't finish this whole thing. I'll finish the rest of it off camera because my time with you is growing short. I gotta get in there and get those orders packed and stuff, but we'll let this simmer. It's in a good part to simmer, but I want to go, but just to show you 1, 2, and 3 like this, and then I'll come around, grab my 8/0 and slide it into place, and then do those 3 more wraps. 1. See how I'm keeping my wire? It's hard for you to see a little bit there. I'm keeping my wire like really big, right? A really wide loop, so everything stays nice and unkinked, nice and smooth. Though you can just straighten everything out with your wire straightening plier, your nylon jaw plier if you need to. Okay. So that's it. I'm going to come in, continue that around, clip off all of the rest of this business. Okay. I'm going to take a photo of this for Drea. So let me neaten this up because I swear if I don't take the photo for the newsletter when I'm on air with you guys, I'll forget. And then Drea will say, where's my picture? So I'm going to do that right now. I'll cut that off, push that in. There we go. That's that there. Let me make this look kind of pretty. Get rid of that stuff. Get rid of that. And you know what? This wire is tight enough back here. It's just bugging me. So sometimes even when I think I might want it later, I can just add another wire back on. So I'm going to tighten that up, give it one more tight close clip, being very careful not to hit yourself, burnish it down so it's ended nicely. Okay, there we go. Check it with your finger to make sure that it's not pokey. Let me get that wire out of the way. Let me put this little guy right here so it looks kind of nice. Right, let's get this whole thing in the, you know, I would wait 24 hours. Let me just clip this. It's wax linen. It's going to be fine. I'm going to clip that wax linen close here too. That wasn't very close, was it? Let me try my cutters. Oh, there we go. It clipped. It just didn't come apart. There we go. So it looks nice and clean, and I can leave you with a nice, pretty picture. Okay, and you can get a good look at it there while I take a photo of it real quick for Drea. There it goes. Photo is done. So yeah, sometimes you just have to, yeah, like that. I'm not sure about this yet. So this is the point where I walk away, right? And I go, all right, we're going to just let this sit and figure out, you know, maybe it needs another something there wrapped in to balance it or something. I don't know. So it's time to let this simmer. Tomorrow we're going to let this simmer so much that tomorrow I'm going to come in back to, I'm just going to cover this with another pad. You remember your friend and mine, the wrap bracelet that I'm working on, okay? And so where we left it on Friday is that kind of Brittany knot, right, with the little shadows in it. So I'm going to come back, I'm going to do the next portion of this wrap, and what it is, I have no idea, but I want to get I want to get to this point. So I'm going to let this one again simmer for a couple of days, let that one sit, and we're going to do our next section of our wrap here tomorrow. Okay, then I'll probably get back to this guy on Thursday, and then Friday, you guys, I have a new knot to teach you. I know that you guys loved the Chinese button knot, that this one here. I have a new knot to teach you that I think you're going to love, and it'll be good practice for you guys over the weekend. It'll be fun. Hopefully I don't fumble it too much. I'll try and practice a little bit this week at night, so I will do it for you seamlessly. I hope. We'll see on Friday, but that's what's coming up. So that's what I've got for you guys today. Okay. I want to make sure we're all still connected. It looks like I am. So hang in there, you guys. Jump into some creativity or not. Whatever. Do what works for you. Get out several. There's no shame in doing some different projects, trying some new stuff, just making some palettes. You know, whatever floats your boat. You know, we are on, as I said, it's the 31st of March. We are getting better and better at socially distancing, amusing ourselves, and holding those that we love, like you guys, holding them close and dear and thinking good thoughts, right? We're all going to be together again in person and not virtually. So hang in there. We've got this. You know, we all have our moments of anxiety, but as I say, Feel that anxiety, but then feel your feet on the ground, feel the air come into your lungs, know that you're fine, and move the heck on, you guys. You know what? This is a marathon, not a race, and we've got it. So, as always, thank you, thank you, thank you for your support of beadshop.com. Without you guys, we would not be here at all, right? You are the reason that we are able to keep the lights on and everybody working for you guys. So I really, really appreciate it from the bottom of my heart, and I know that the whole team does as well. So you can go to beadshop.com, find all of the info. If you have not signed up for our newsletter, go to Bead Shop, sign up for the newsletter. There's a lot of really great info on there, and that's how we send you shipping updates and all that kind of stuff. So so don't hesitate to do that. We keep all of your information private, okay? We again also really appreciate the shares, the likes, the hearts, the loves. It gets our videos out there to more people, which means that more people know about our little company. So again, super appreciate. Cheers until tomorrow, you guys. Hang in there. We've got this. Stay safe, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye.